Okay, my friends. Hello, hello, hello. Joining you live from snowy Fargo. I am Jody Harvilla, psychic medium, and I am here for day 15 of 31 Days of Spirit. So I'm just going to hang for a second. Hold on. And we'll see if we can get some people on and say hello. If you are on, say hello in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Still snowing out, so I gotta get the snowflakes off my glasses. We got a ton of snow. Eli and Keaton were just plowing for, a couple hours. And we still have more snow coming. All right, there we go. Now I see some people coming on. Hello, hello, hello. If you can see me and hear me, let me know in the comments. And we will chat a little bit this evening. I bet a lot of people are out plowing and shoveling right now. There we go. Now I got some people jumping in. Hello. Happy holidays. Now it feels like Christmas in Fargo. It is a beautiful night. It was beautiful yesterday too. I don't have to shovel that much. My boys are really good about taking care of the shoveling. So I'm kind of spoiled in that way. Eli has a plow that he uses, which is really nice because we share a driveway with my neighbors. So it's kind of nice because he can take the plow and do both the driveways. So that's kind of cool. And Keaton is learning the details of plowing. He's super excited about it. Super excited. And Ruby and Charlie will be excited because Eli, the man who didn't want cats, took an extra half an hour and created a cat path so the cats can go around the house if they'd like to. I'll post pictures later. I said, they're all going to wonder where the Christmas lights are. Like, it's not a lit path, Eli. And he's like, oh, well, that's your thing. Maybe we'll have to do some ice candles. You guys ever done ice candles? We do them usually around Christmas Eve. The family at the farm used to do them every year on Christmas Eve. And you take buckets or containers of whatever size you want. You can add food coloring or not. You freeze them, and then not all the way through, but just enough so the outside edges are froze. And then you puncture a hole in the top, pour the water out, put a candle in, and then you have lit up ice candles. It's super fun. We do them a lot on Christmas Eve if Eli's in the Hallmark mood. We do ice candles. Maybe I'll ask him if he'll do it for the camera. Show everyone how to do it. All right. Jennifer, Jolene, Nancy, Brooke, Lori. Hello, hello. Yeah, it's really fun and it looks really cool. So you can either put real candles in, or we usually just do the battery operated ones. So they are lit up, or you can take plug-in lights and put them in. It's really kind of cool. I like it. I think it's very fun on Christmas Eve. Connie, our aunt, used to do it and take them to the cemetery on Christmas Eve as a tradition, which I always thought was cool. All right, so tonight, day 15, we are going to be talking a little bit about, I am losing my voice talking every day on this. We are going to talk about clearing our houses and getting them ready for the holidays. So those of you that are on, how many of you have had me come clear your house or done a remote clearing at some point, or had anyone come clear your house? Like, how many of you have actually had a clearing done? Let's tell the audience a little bit about energy clearing. So I started clearing homes, I would bet it's for sure over 10 years, if not 12 or 13 years ago. And it was one of those things that I had so much going on in our house. Oh my God, we had so much going on in our house. We had bats in our house. I saw ghosts in our house. We had, we were struggling financially. We had this big, huge laundry pile that never went away. We had, it was like everything that we tried to make things better, we were doing all the right things. I remember specifically having that conversation with Eli. We are doing everything. We're good people. We're nice people. We work really hard. We keep trying to fix things, and things just were not working. And someone suggested that I get my space cleared. And I was like, well, what's that? And she's like, don't worry about it. Just have it done. You'll love it. And I was like, okay. And I was just barely getting into some of this stuff. And I went to this speaker, and I didn't know if I really liked her, but there was something about what she was talking about. And she was talking about space clearing and things like that. And afterwards, I went and got a book signed. And I'm not really one to go get my book signed. And I, again, didn't know if I really liked her. But I went up and I got my book signed, and she goes, oh, you need your space cleared. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she was like, no, you need your house cleared. And I was like, okay. And so it took about probably a year for me to get all the pieces. It's a very long story, but it took about a year for me to finally get someone to come over and clear my house. And the woman was clearing it. And like, I kept seeing this fog in my house. I'm like, what is with all the fog? And she goes, can you see that? I was like, yeah, I totally can see it. Like, what the hell is happening? And she's like, oh, you see energy. And I'm like, no, I don't. And she goes, yeah, you do. And she said, show me a place in your house that you think something might be happening. I was like, I know exactly where I want to start you. And I took her down to the basement, showed her this laundry pile that had been there forever. And oh my God, we would wash all the laundry, and the next day it would be 5 feet tall again. And she goes, oh, well, you have this vortex in your house, and it's just, creating all this chaos and all this kind of stuff. And I remember crying because someone finally understood that there was really something wrong with this laundry pile. And it was such an incredible experience. And she had a class coming up, and I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to get to that class or pay for it, but I know that I need to take that class. And she said, yep, you do. And I remember going to class, and we use dowsing rods a lot of times when I'm clearing. And I put them in my hand, and I was like, I know how to use these. And I'd never held dowsing rods. I didn't know what they were. I had no idea what was the deal with them. And I was like, I absolutely know how to use these. And I started clearing immediately. The next day, I started practicing clearing. And I have been going ever since. And it was one of those things that like, oh, this is something I've always searched for. And it's been a passion for me forever. So I do really, and I really do think forever. I've had lots of past lives where I was a space clearer and things like that. So it's one of those things that came very naturally to me. I just know how to do it. And so I like to pass some different tools along to people so that you guys can have some of the same kinds of things. All right, Lori. Yep, we did both her houses. Did my house in Argosville a long time ago. Yeah, the kids were little. Yep, and Jolene and Mary, absolutely. And Sabrina cleared her house. Yeah, lots. Good. Cool. Very cool. So when you want to work on your home, I'll give you some energy things, but also just some basic things. So some of the basic things you can do is declutter. And if you're a person that has a lot of stuff or hoarders or things like that, start somewhere. Like, even if it's just like, let's say you have your chair, everyone kind of has their spot that they sit in. And sometimes that spot, you just have all your shit around you. And so just start there. Just do a tiny little spot, or do a drawer, or do a corner that you tend to look at, or work on your bedroom. So a lot of times, just the other night I was teaching a class, and I was telling people that either work on the main space that you spend most of your time in, whether it's the kitchen, the living room, your office, whatever, or on your bedroom, because you want to be able to sleep at night. And if our bedrooms are messy and cluttered and all that kind of stuff, it's really hard to get some rest. Even if you're not a great sleeper, you still want to get some rest. Okay. So you want to work on some of the decluttering pieces: dusting, cleaning, organizing, clean out the closets, like any of that kind of stuff, always helpful. Doing the outside of your home. So a lot of times, like in North Dakota, obviously we're not going to be doing a lot of yard work at the moment. But as soon as spring comes or summer comes, Eli and I usually have some project that we're working on to improve our yard just a little bit. And we just do little baby steps. And like this year, he did a whole bunch of stuff because I thought, oh, it'd be fun to have some clients over for bonfire readings. And so he did a whole bunch of cool stuff. And we have a teeny tiny yard. And so it's pretty easy for us to upgrade our yard because it's little. And so working outside of your yard, very, very, very high, easy thing that you can do to help your house as well. A lot of times, if you have a bunch of stuff that you don't love, or a few years ago, I remember we were getting some company and I called a friend of mine. She loves to organize. And I love things organized. I'm just not very good at it. And so I called her and I was like, oh my God, we're getting this company and my house just feels icky and messy. And like, can you come help? And she's like, yep, let's do it this weekend. And I had a whole bunch of different kind of feng shui cures from years back when I was working on financial stuff and when we felt so broke and like all of these kind of, it was kind of an energy of lack. And every time I touched one of them, I was like, oh, I just don't want these anymore. And she's like, because you're not in that mindset anymore. Like you've worked really hard on that piece. And I was like, oh, that makes sense to me. So look at your knickknacks, look at the things, what kind of memories do they bring? What kind of emotions do they bring up? If it's something that kind of reminds you of something that you just kind of cringe, or it's like, yeah, I remember why I got that. You might want to pay it forward to someone else that's maybe in that spot you were in a few years before, or if it's really a beautiful piece, but it just doesn't work for you. You might want to pay it forward. You might want to sell it. You might want to donate it. Some of the stuff you just throw away. And so going through your house and really keeping things that actually raise you up, cleaning your closet out to the clothes that actually fit you. There's a lot of people that keep the skinny clothes, the medium clothes, fat clothes, and the comfy clothes. And there was one point that I was like, oh, I am getting rid of all these clothes that I think I'm going to wear if I lose a little bit of weight. Like I'm so done with that. And so I got rid of them because honestly, if I get back to that size, I'm going to buy new clothes anyways. And so I passed them on to a friend. I always tell her, I was like, like you're 6 feet tall, almost like a tall 6 foot blonde. And I think that's what I shop for sometimes because there's stuff that I have that I'm like, why did I think I would even wear this? So I just give it to her. But I get rid of that kind of stuff. Paperwork, file it, all that kind of stuff. So just the general organizational stuff. Sometimes if your house is feeling stale or you just need something to move in the house, move your furniture and move it to different places. Our living room is not good for that. Like our living room, you can set up like 2 ways. And in the other way, when the way you set it up, we don't like it. So our living room kind of stays the same. But when we painted the whole house, we took all of our artwork down and we rearranged it. And like I had my angels up in my bedroom. I brought them down into the main room and we took some other pictures and put them on other walls. We took some mirrors and moved them. And we took all of our artwork and we shifted around through the whole house. And that was really awesome because everything gets a new perspective and you don't get used to seeing the same thing all the time. And so it was nice for us too, because we felt like we had a whole new house. It was really fun. So you can do things like that. You can think about what kind of things, if you use a lot of candles and smelly stuff, sometimes it's just because you like it. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it feels like you're trying to cover something up. And so try to figure out what that might be. If there's some different options, like we have 2 cats. And so I really tried different litters for a long time to find one that I couldn't smell the cat scent when I walked in the house because I always hated that smell. And so I really worked to try to find one for my cats that worked for my cats because I don't think they all work for all cats. And we found a really good one. So I don't smell that when I come into my house. So sometimes you got to do a little trial and error on different things. If it's the holidays, I always think about, okay, how do I want the holidays to feel? Some people choose not to decorate at all because they're not into it. That's okay. Don't shame people for that. Oh, you got to have a little Christmas spirit. No, they don't. They don't have to like it if they don't want to. Maybe they just like their house nice and clean the way it is. Some people have 17 Christmas trees. let them be too. They love it. People that have more than one Christmas tree, they do it on purpose. They love it. I went to a Blenders concert last night and I sat next to this girl. She was just as excited about seeing the Blenders as I was. So we were having a great old time. And she was talking about how she loves Christmas, loves it. And she goes, no, like my tree goes up November 1st. She's like, Halloween and then it's Christmas. And her husband's like, yes, she's not lying. Like we have several things that go up. And she goes, well, yeah, the tree at the lake, that stays up till the end of March. And she had a whole justification for it. It was so funny. And I was like, go, sister, whatever works for you. And she was just having so much fun sharing about it. So sharing things that light up your house. Eli and I really enjoy artwork. And we like to know the artists that we get the artwork from. Our neighbor's an artist. Most of my friends have some kind of artistry in them, or they have done artwork and things like that. So we always try to meet the artists that we're buying artwork from. And we have artwork throughout our whole house, but I can tell you every piece and who it came from. And I always think that's cool. So you want to think about things that you're bringing in that you actually have some joy and attachment to it instead of just, a general picture from Target. And you can do that. There's nothing wrong with the Target pictures, but think about how you want your house to feel. And we like creativity. And so artwork in our house from the artists, that felt good to us. Okay. So tell me, as I'm chatting a little bit here, tell me a little bit about maybe some of the issues you have with your house or what doesn't feel good. And then let me answer some questions about it, because sometimes that actually opens up the conversation even more instead of me just talking. So do you have anything going on with your house that doesn't feel good, low vibe? Maybe you got a ghost in your house. Very seldom do people really have ghosts in their house. A lot of people that call me that think their house is haunted, oftentimes it's just a relative, my friends. Like 9 out of 10 times, it's usually a relative that is just trying to get their attention, especially this time of year. I do think there's a lot of activity this time of year. And so sometimes I get a lot of calls this time of year anyways, because people want to have their house cleared for the new year, which I love that. But a lot of times they have a lot more activity in their house. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's Christmas. They're coming to spend the holiday with you. Okay. So let me know what questions you guys have. Let's chat about it. Such a delay. We'll see if some more questions come through. I really like when people have plants in their house. I think plants bring in new life. I have a whole thing that I do if things are slow or we're feeling a little tight. I usually will go buy myself some flowers. I love flowers. I know not everyone likes flowers because they die and you just throw them away. I really like fresh cut flowers. I always have. And so I will go, even just if it's to Hornbachers or Cashways or something, and just get a couple of those $5, $6, $7, $8 bundles and put them together. And I always have the intention that just brings in new business, new life, just a little new fresh energy. But I'll clean the house first, and I'll clean the fridge, and then I'll go and kind of get anything that I need for the fridge to make it feel good. And then I get the flowers for the kitchen and stuff like that. So I do have a little kind of ceremony that I do when things are not feeling awesome. And one of them is just kind of cleaning and bringing in some brightness and some color. Mary said, I think my taste is changing. So now I'm decluttering and getting rid of a lot of things. Yep. And you know what? And ask your friends if maybe they're doing that too, because sometimes you can have a little swap where your friend comes over and checks out the stuff you want to get rid of. You can go to her house, see if there's stuff that she wants to get rid of. And then whatever you guys don't want, you can just do kind of a team thing and take it to donate it or sell it or whatever you want. So sometimes that's a nice way to kind of shift and switch things, is when people are getting rid of stuff that maybe they're done with, but still has a lot of good life in it. Okay, Lori says, I have a basement apartment, and right now I have some holiday guests. Right now that is feeling negative. I also think he has been in longer than the holidays. Yeah, it feels like a guy, Lori. Doesn't necessarily feel attached to you specifically. Why don't you send me an email? Let me check in a little bit on that, because it does feel like it's not a strong one by any means, but it almost feels like kind of like a wander, like you wandered in and thought, oh, she's fun, I'm going to stay here. And basements oftentimes carry the heaviest energy. So when I clear a house, I start in the basement and work my way up. And so sometimes it may not be a spirit, maybe it's something different, or it might just be a heavier energy in the house that needs to be cleared. Why don't you email me, hon, and I'll do just a quick little check-in. Brooke says, I started doing fresh flowers lately too. My daughter thinks I'm nuts because I never did it before. Yep, that's all right. Yeah, I like fresh flowers. I think it's fun. I think they bring a lot of bright, and I kind of like the little fun ones, you know, at Hornbachers and stuff. They have the bright greens and the reds and the whites, and they're so pretty for the holidays. You can also do the simmer pot. You know what? I wonder if I have that link. Hold on a second. I did a fun little simmer pot video a little like last week. Here we go. And simmer pots are super easy, and they are a great way. Is this what we want? That's not what I want. They are a great way to raise the energy in your house. Where is that darn link? Hold on a second, friends. Let me find this link. Because you can sign up for it and just get it emailed to you, and it's just nice and handy dandy. I was going to have that ready for you. Hold on. Clearing out your emails, also very good. We've been doing so much email back and forth because we have this great new tech girl, and Angela and I are making her work really hard. So we have 1,000 different emails right now. Well, where the heck did I put it? Nope, that's not it either. All right, I'll give it to you this way. See if this works, friends. That might not work, but I'll put up the real one later, okay? Okay, so so I don't know who this is. Just says Facebook user on my side because I'm using StreamYard. And it says, always strange creatures in our bedroom. I don't always give them my attention, but my husband always interacts with them in some way. It's fascinating. Tell me more. What do you mean creatures? Tell me more. I want to know more. What kind of creatures? Angie says, so what do you do if when the whole house feels like your laundry pile? You clean and organize, but it never stays put together. Then I would tell you to get a professional clearing by me or somebody else. Then it's time to clear your house. And some people have me clear their house consistent for the last 10 years. I've cleared their house once a year. Some people need it more than that. Some people I have, we have it in our Christmas special. Some people have me clear their house every month. It's more of like a subscription thing. Some people have me do it every season. And so it just depends where you are at with that. But if it's something like that, where it just feels like, oh my God, my house still feels crappy, then you need a clearing. And I do think we have cleared your house, haven't we, Angie? I don't know when, but I know we've cleared your house. But it usually means like, and sometimes if there's been a lot of stress going on, or maybe you've done a lot of self-growth and a lot of changes and you're really moving and things are going really well, sometimes you need to help your house get up into that same vibration. So again, even if things are going fantastic, sometimes you still need a space clearing just to help things stay all in alignment. It is on Mighty Networks. Yep, I was just going to share it publicly here too. Samantha says, I love simmer pots, but the first one I did a few weeks ago, I told my daughter it's to clear out negative energy and bring in new positive energy and perspective. My husband was a dick that day, and my daughter whispers to me, oh, Mama, I don't think your magic potion worked because Papa's still crappy. Okay, that's hilarious. That's funny. So then you tell her next time I just have to add a little bit more magic and see. And what you might want to add to it, Samantha, is like some peppermint or some sage. Like you can actually use the sage you get at the grocery store, or you could use, I don't know, I keep hearing peppermint because it helps raise the vibration. And so try a little extra peppermint, make it a little extra minty. See if we can get Daddy not to be crabby. That's hilarious. Also, you guys open your windows once in a while. My husband hates when I say this, but I open my windows all year long. Every day, my windows are open at least for a few minutes. Even we have a 3-day blizzard going on, still have had my windows open. I just don't tell my husband. And I always do have my windows open because I think it lets energy in and out. So if my intention is to do a simmer pot to clear the energy, then I'm going to open my windows at some point after a few minutes and let the energy out. Okay. So it's been a little bit, Angie. You might just need one for the new year. You can email me and we can chat about it, hon. Spider-like, tall people. Wow. He just has a lot of creatures around him. Does it, it does feel connected to your husband. I agree with that. It almost feels like his spirit team, and they just take on that kind of expression for him. Because it doesn't feel bad to me. It just feels like it's his team, and that's how he interacts with all of them. Interesting. Samantha said, okay, I hadn't added either of those. Yeah, peppermint for sure. And if you do have some sage, I would add a little sage. Not a whole lot of sage because you might not like the smell of it, but a little bit. Our bedroom window is open every night unless the wind is blowing. Mine too. But Eli hates it. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think your husband I think that's his team. That's cool. All right. Any other questions around your house for the holidays? So some other things that you can do is you can light candles, you can play music, you can sage, of course. You can sit in the middle of your house and just send love straight out to every little tiny bit of your house. I think the holidays, when you think about clearing your house, even if it's not for the holidays, just clearing your house in general, some of the basics work the best. Cleaning it, bringing some flowers in, giving your house some attention, talking to your house, asking your house what it needs. I was having the class the other night. I was telling them afterwards to go put your hand on the wall of the house, get really, really quiet. Don't do it when your family's around. They'll just call you weird. And just go ask your house, okay, house, like, what do you need to feel better? Or what do you need to feel joyful? Or what do you need to raise your vibration? Like, just have a relationship with your house, because all of our houses have these great personalities, and very seldom do people actually tune into them. And I love working. I have a lot of real estate agents that I work with, and they'll call me and they'll be like, oh my God, I have a crabby house. Can you please clear it? Because we need to sell this house. And then I'll tune into the house, and you can always feel when it's crabby. And the house is like, they never tell me what's going on. I didn't even know they were selling. I didn't know what was happening. And so our houses are kind of our spiritual, it's kind of like our spiritual container. And so they kind of need to know what's happening with us. So it's okay to have a relationship with your house. As funny as that sounds, especially if you're new to me, you want to get to know what kind of personality your house, like ours, loves color. It loves artwork. It loves quiet, but it also loves the noise of the kids and Eli. And It likes things organized. It likes things fun and light, and it would much rather have us outside when we can be instead of like sitting inside bored. The cats really, really like the house. And I can always tell if something's going on with the house because my cats will tell me too. Animals will always tell you. Yes, our naughty spirit spray. That's right. On sale now, friends. Okay. Any other questions on house clearing? And if you're interested in a clearing, make sure you get a hold of me like this week. If you want something over either before the holidays, before Christmas, a lot of people have me clear the house before Christmas. A lot of people have me clear their house after the relatives have left. So that week of New Year's, let me know. And then I do a lot of space clearing over New Year's as well. Whether it's on New Year's Eve or on New Year's Day or within that week. I do a lot of clearing this time of year. So if it's kind of catching to you and you're like, I kind of want to find out more about that, contact me so you can find out more about it because it's a busy time of year for clearings and it's a great time of year for clearings with the new year coming up. All right, friends, I have a little class that I'm teaching, so I need to go. But I wanted to see if there's any other questions, and I'll check back in case someone watches a replay and has any other questions. These are just basic things that you can do for your space. We can get a lot more deeper into that, when I do clearing classes and in spirit school and things like that. And so if it is something that is interesting to you, make sure you let me know that. Okay. All right, friends, have a great night. I'm off to teach and I will be back tomorrow. Let's see, it's Friday tomorrow. I think it's going to be around noonish that I will pop on tomorrow. Okay, right around there. I'll let you know for sure in the morning. Okay. All right, guys, have a great night. I will see you soon and stay safe. And if you're in Fargo, don't drive. Roads are really terrible. They're getting worse and worse and worse. So stay home, my friends. Be safe. Okay, talk to you soon.